All right, hello and welcome. This is an experience guide for Last Epoch. So in this guide, we're of course going to cover all things experience. It's a fairly short guide because there's not like a ton to it, but what we'll cover basically is the basics of experience, how it works both for your character and for your skills, as well as some relatively efficient farming strategies. Let's just go ahead and dive right in. So character experience should be something that most of you all are used to if you played RPGs before. It's similar in this game. You start at level 1. You'll gain experience by killing enemies, doing quests, etc. And in doing so, you will gain a level. When you gain a level, you will gain a passive point that you can then put into the passive tree. For more information on the passive tree, please do check out the passive guide. But basically, that's just it's a tree with a number of masteries in it, a number of windows, so to speak, where you can invest points into it and gain character power from doing so. Eventually you'll reach level 100 and you'll be able to put it, I think the current cap is 113 points into it because there are quests. Don't quote me on that. It's like 113, 115 total with the quest points, something along those lines. But you'll be able to put a lot of points in this, and character experience is the primary way that you will do so, along with the quests that you can also accumulate a few points from. As far as skill experience, though, this is probably a little bit different to a lot of people because not a lot of games do it this way. In Last Epoch, skills actually accumulate experience themselves sort of independently of the player. Like they get experience from basically the same things, from killing monsters, but they don't level up the same speed. Skills can level up to a maximum of level 20 by default. That cap can be increased through gear, but all skills start with a cap of 20. And they are somewhat dependent on your character level. So higher character levels will eventually be able to reach level 20. Lower character levels won't be able to get quite that high. But if you say respec a skill and start from 0, you'll have a lower skill level than a skill that you started with, say at the beginning of the game. So it does have its own independent levels that you have to level up yourself. Fortunately, at the end game, it's very easy to level this stuff. And in the early game, you don't have to think about it too much because it's just going to level naturally with your character. But as you do level them, you will get skill points to put into your skills. Again, there's a cap of 20. It's corresponding to the level of the skill. So at level 20, you'll have 20 points to invest. At level 10, you'll have 10 points to invest, etc. And each skill has its own independent skill tree of which you can invest into, which provides a lot of variety and spice to the game. It's one of my favorite aspects of the game. So this is one of those two areas where you'll be using your experience to invest in points in the game. And this one is very, very impactful for sure, as you choose the skills you want to invest in by specializing in them, and then they level up, and then you get XP and you get levels from them. All right, so now you know what experience does. It gives you the passive points, it gives you the skill points as you level up both of those systems. How do you improve your experience gains? What can you do to get experience faster? You want to get to level 20 in a skill, or you want to try to get to 100, or just increase your character level? What are the things that will affect that? Well, the first thing that'll affect it is the area level. Area level is what determines the level of the enemies in the area. And you can generally check this by just looking at your upper right hand corner when the map is up by pressing tab, and it will tell you what the area level of the monsters are in. Monsters that are higher level than you will give more XP. Monsters that are lower level will give less XP. So you generally want to do the highest level enemies you can handle. There is a caveat to that. There is an XP penalty system for being higher or lower level that was already in the game but has been modified for 0.9 for multiplayer. We don't know all of the mechanics exactly of how that works, but going as high as you possibly can won't necessarily net you like the same amount of XP gain that you might expect. So you can't do things like in Diablo 3 where you can have a friend just power level you in 5 minutes to level 70. That's what that system's there for. But for the average player, you're not going to have to worry too much about that. And if it is meaningful in some way, I'll update this build guide or this guide to reflect that. For the most part, though, you just need to know higher area level enemies equals more XP for you and faster leveling. Another way you can get it is through increased experience gained in the Monolith of Fate, which is an endgame system, the primary endgame system. So as you are going through this endgame system, you will take on modifiers, which are things that make the enemies stronger. And when you do so, you will get increased item rarity and increased experience gains for your troubles. So the higher you can push those modifiers, stronger modifiers give more. the more experience you'll get and the more item rarity, experience being the more important one for this particular guide. If you want more information on that, we do have a monolith beginner guide to go through all the details of the monolith system and how XP gains work and just the increased item rarity and all of that stuff. The next thing, which is also monolith related, is echo rewards. So each monolith has echoes, which are effectively maps, and each map has its own reward. And some of these rewards are these XP rewards, where when you finish the echo, as long as you didn't die, at the end of it, you will get a number of books that drop that you just walk over and they will reward you with XP. And these scale pretty high with increased XP gains. So they can be a very valuable way of leveling, and they can be especially valuable if you have to, say, respec a skill and you want to get it back to level 20 quickly. These echo rewards are really, really good for that. The arena is another place where you can farm XP. It's not quite as good as it used to be. The monolith is generally a better place to get experience. People who can push really high waves might get a lot of XP out of it. But if you want an alternative option to monolith, say you get bored with it and you want to try something else, the arena is a place to go. It does scale XP as you push higher waves, so the farther you go, the better your XP gains will be. We also have a beginner arena guide for that if you want to know more about the arena. Magic and rare monsters offer more XP than regular ones. Magic ones are blue, they tend to be in packs, and they give 50% XP bonus, while rare are yellow and they give 200%. They tend to be on their own. So if you can kill them efficiently, they are a valuable source of XP, especially rares, but if you can't kill them efficiently, they won't be that valuable. So it really depends on how quickly you can do the content. Experience shrines are another nice way of getting XP. They will reward you with a 50% increased XP gain for 1 minute. So if you see one of these, go ahead and hit it up and try to kill as many monsters as you can. Note that these are very random, and so it's going to be hard to, you're not going to be able to target these and try to just find them in the maps that you're in. Like, you can look for them, but it's going to be very random what you get. So don't make this a primary strategy. But if you do see one along the way, hit it up and kill a bunch of monsters and profit. All right, that's it. It's a nice quick one for experience gains. I hope that was helpful to you in your quest for getting more experience and leveling up. Enjoy your time at Last Epoch, and I will see you all again real soon.